I've heard of all sorts of threesomes, including a threesome with Ghislaine and a British Prime Minister.
Oh, my goodness. A recent British Prime Minister?
A former British Prime Minister. It's not Winston Churchill.
Oh, my.
I mean, I've known about the story about the former Prime Minister for some time, but I see that actually it is in the files. There is a release there. People don't seem to have picked it up, but actually there's an FBI correspondence discussing it. So I'm sure that name will eventually appear.
Now, we haven't been able to find the document that Lownie is talking about in that clip, but Lownie is also vague enough that it isn't clear whether he's talking about someone who had a threesome with Epstein and Maxwell while Prime Minister or someone who became Prime Minister after the Sex Act. Now, we know that Ghislaine Maxwell met Epstein sometime in the 1990s in New York. In 1996, a young woman called Maria Farmer reported Epstein and Maxwell to the FBI, saying they'd abused her younger sister Annie a year earlier. At that time, Maxwell was in her early 30s, around a decade since she graduated from Oxford. Here's where it gets really interesting. The earliest sex act between Epstein, Maxwell, and a future or past Prime Minister could have taken place probably around then. So we're thinking mid-1990s. But while at Oxford, Maxwell had connections to at least 2 future Prime Ministers. This is the iconic 1987 Bullingdon Club photograph showing the members of the infamously posh and destructive drinking club. Second from the left in the top row is David Cameron, and first from the bottom of those seated is Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson and Ghislaine Maxwell both attended Balliol College. According to Johnson's sister, Rachel, she once walked into the college's junior common room to see Ghislaine Maxwell holding court, her high-heeled boot resting on the future PM's thigh. Johnson has never discussed his relationship with Maxwell. David Cameron was at Oxford at the same time too, though his college was Brasenose. And Cameron is mentioned several times in the Epstein files, though there is no correspondence directly between him and Jeffrey Epstein. In making these connections, we're not suggesting any wrongdoing. We have literally no idea who Lownie is referring to. But the relationships do show, I think at least, the kind of elite British contacts that Ghislaine Maxwell had access to and that she brought with her when she paired up with Jeffrey Epstein.